video, creating a social story using Canva. In this video, we will go through all of the things that we covered in the live version of this workshop to show you how you can make your own social story using Canva. We will look at how you can upload photos and videos into the Canva app or website, then look at how we can use elements to personalize your social story, looking at transitions and background music, and then finally how you can then save your social story so that you can share it with other adults and professionals. As always with these videos, you will be able to pause, rewind and fast forward to the sections that you need. So let's get started and see how we can create our own social story using Canva. In this recap video, I will be using Canva on my iPad using this app here. However, you can access Canva on a laptop or an Android device by loading up your internet browser and going to canva.com, and when you load up the app or the website, it will look very similar to this. And what we're going to do now is just going to have a look through the existing social story. This is the one that we made as part of the session. And this just shows you when you go into Canva how it's structured. So down the left hand side here, you have all of your elements and tools that you will be able to help you with your social story. Along the bottom of the screen here, you will see that you have your timeline of the video that has been created. And there are different lines underneath. The purple line is for voiceover, the blue line is for music. And then you also have your tools along the top, the editing tools and being able to save it as well. So let's just take a look at a social story that's been created in Canva. A trip to the park. Today we are going to the park. When we go to the park, we will go to the playground. We are going to play on the swings. If somebody is on the swing, we don't push them off. I can wait and say, "Can I play on the swing next, please?"
And back, and up, and back, and up, and back, and up.
Other children like to play on the swings too, and that's okay. Playing in the park is really fun. So there we go, there's an example of a social story that we've created in Canva. So to get to that point, I'm just going to tap on the three lines in the corner and go back to the home screen where we started, and we're looking to create a video. So we're just going to come along through the top dots here, the different coloured ones, and we're looking for the pink one that says video. That looks like a video camera with a play button. We tap on there and that will give us some options here. Now I'm just going to go for a video in landscape, but if you want to, you can do it as a mobile video, and there are different orientations to your video that you can use, but I'm just going to go with this landscape one here. Now when it comes up, it will come up automatically in the design feature. So you can see if I just tap on the little icons down the side here, that you have different tools available to you. And we will look at the design feature in a minute, just to help us with these poster designs, almost kind of your title slide and your end slide. But there are other options that we will also explore as well. But what we want to do is we want to start our video with a graphic that we can use that kind of sets the scene about what our video is going to be like. So let's look at how we can do that using the tools on the left hand side. So let's take a look at adding in almost those poster slides, the slides you need to have to be able to give that key information across. They're the ones that have the text on and can also be used as your introduction slides and your exit slides, that type of thing. Now there are lots and lots of templates that you can use, and you can see they're all underneath here, but you might want to look for a specific theme. So you can come up to the search bar at the top where it says search video templates. and then you can type in a keyword that you're after. So it may be playground or park or swimming baths or something like that that you want to be able to do. And it'll then come up with some examples underneath that might match. Now, if I just tap on the at the playground one there, for example, it will bring up lots of different examples there. Now, you can add all of them if you want to. This one's got 12, so you can add all of them if you want to. I don't need the 12, so I'm just going to tap on that add the playground one first. And then I want to have one at the end. So remember, I need to come down to my timeline and look for this little add button to add in another slide so I can then add another picture in at the end. So I might want to use this rainbow bar one here. And remember, if we want to change the text, we simply tap on it so it has the purple line around it with the little white handles. And then if we tap on it again, it'll bring up our keyboard and then we can then change the text that's there. So I can just quickly say a trip to the park. There we go. And if I just go to the other one and just tap and tap again, I can put that positive reinforcement. Playing in the park is really fun. There we go. And remember, if I just hide my keyboard and hide the slides at the side there, you can use these crop handles at the side to be able to help you move your text box around. And remember, if you want to be able to change the position, if you look for this circle here that has the cross with the arrows, that will allow you to kind of move it around on the screen to a place where you can see it more effectively. And remember, we do have these pink alignment lines that will help us line up our text. And if we wanted to change our text, remember, we need to tap on it first, then come up and we have the options to change our font, our size, and our colour as well, and even give it effect. So if you wanted to put a drop shadow on there, then you can do that in the effects menu. We'll look at that a little bit later on. But now we've got our posters, let's look at how we can add in our photos and our videos so that we can use them as part of our social story. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press the add button at the bottom of my little timeline here. This brings up another blank screen that we can use, and we can just tap and hold and move this along on our timeline at the bottom, which just helps us to be able to reorder things. That's really helpful. If we record something and we want to change it around in a different place, we can then just move it to where we want it to be. So I'm just going to come to the upload section on the left hand side of the screen, which is a cloud with the up arrow. And now I'm just going to start to upload my photos and videos from my device. Now, as I'm working on my iPad, when I tap on the purple upload files button, it allows me to go straight to my photo library. If you're doing this on your Android device or your laptop, it will allow you to be able to go to where your photos are stored on your device, whether that's in your file explorer or whether it's in your downloads or documents if you're on a laptop. And when it loads up, it will allow you to be able to explore your photo library and be able to get the photos that you need. So for example, if I just go into my social story, I've got my photos here. And what I can do is I can multi-select the photos that I want to use and videos as well, and then just press add, and these will then upload into the left hand side of my screen where I can then take them over from the upload section. So once they're uploaded, and that will also depend on your internet connection, you will then be able to start to use them in your social story. Now, don't worry if some of the things aren't showing in your little menu here. You can see that it separates it into images and videos. And so you will be able to see the different parts that are created and where they are sat. So if you're looking for an image, you need to toggle the image little tab here underneath where it has the purple line. And if you want a video, you can then just tap on that one as well, and that will bring it up. So I'm just going to use this first picture here. And I'm just going to use my handles to be able to make it fill the whole part of the screen. Now, it will depend on whether you are doing your video in in portrait or landscape. But I just like to be able to have my whole screen filled so I don't have any white space. That's completely up to you and how you want to be able to do that. That's totally fine. But it's just a way of being able to keep everything in the same orientation. So let's just do that a couple of times. So remember, we go to our add button at the bottom. We choose our picture that we want, and then we can then resize it using the little white handles and then move it around so that it fits onto the screen that we are actually using. And you can use the side ones to be able to do the cropping tool as well. So remember, we can also tap on here and slide. When we're moving these around, we can tap and move the thumbnails so that it changes the order of our timeline. Okay, so that we can move these things around and just be able to get them into the right place. There we go. And again, we just need to add in a new slide every time we do. And we can just tap and make these appear on the screen. Remember, you can just move them down so that you can choose where the picture is and so that it fits on your screen. And you have those pink alignment lines to be able to help you. And you can just start adding in all of those pictures. Now, I would suggest, if this is something that you're wanting to do, is that you add in all of the pictures and videos first, and then you can start adding to them. And it just means you've got your structure of your social story there. So I'm just going to add in another photo and just do the same thing then. And just pull it along, just get it to the right place. And then the add button again. And this time I'm going to add in a video.
Grandma, watch the amazing Daisy swinging with her legs on the swing. Up and back.
And what I can do here
and back
is if I tap on the edit button, it will play automatically, which is what I want it to
I'm
do.
getting a bit seasick doing this now.
But I don't want it to play the whole video.
Girl.
So I'm just going to use these little tools at the top here and just trim where I want it to actually play in my video.
With her legs on the swing. Up.
So I'm going to start from there. So I'm just going to move it along to here.
Up and back. And up and back. And up and back.
And I'm going to just stop it there so I can see where I want it to stop. And just move that along to there. And then press done so it crops my video there. And again, I can just move this little thumbnail right to the end so that I have that at the end of the story, so that it's just going to move through my photos and videos and be placed there at the end. So now I've got my photos and videos in place. You can see now my social story is building quite quickly. So now we can start to add in other elements to it. So we can use the Elements tool on the left-hand side of the screen, which looks like a heart, a triangle, a square and a circle, to add some extra detail onto our social story. So for example, I might want to put some text on this screen. So to do that, I'm just going to go to my Elements first and just put on a shape. This is just going to be able to make my text stand out a little bit better. So I'm just going to go for kind of this one here. I'm just going to resize it, just crop it, just so I can get my text in the right place. I'll just put it at the bottom here. I am going to change it to a yellow colour just so my text stands out a little bit better. And then I can put my text box over the top. So go to the text box and say, today, going to the playground. There we go. I'll hide my keyboard and just bring this back down. Now remember, if we want to move some elements around, we're going to use this little tool here, the square with the 4 arrows. That's just going to help us move this around. And then, just as normal when it comes to Canva, if you tap on it, it gets the purple box around it to show it's selected. And then I can change the size of the font to make it a little bit easier to read. And you can also change the font as well. So if you want something that's going to be a little bit easier to read, you can do that and it can change that for you. If you want to be able to have something that's a little bit more cursive, you can do that as well. And again, just use those alignment lines to be able to line everything up. Now, what you can also do in the Elements tab is look at adding on some kind of graphics to be able to help you. So, for example, this picture, we might want to say we don't want to push anybody off and kind of give that no part to it. So let's go to Elements and type in the word push. And let's see, so we've got all of these different things. I'm just going to tap on where it says see all beside the graphics part, and it will give me these different pictures that I can use. So I'll just tap on this one here for the minute. I'm going to just resize it by using those handles and just put it on that side. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of pushing the wrong way. So remember, every time we select something in Canva, it brings up that purple box around it. And then it also brings up a little menu bar here along the top. Now, if you can see, it actually says the word flip. And I can tap on there and tap on flip horizontal. And then you can actually see it's facing the right way. So now what I'm going to be able to do is type in no. And just see what comes up. So I'm going to use the no word here and I'll put that in the corner here. And then I might actually also use an X and just put that over the top of the little boy there. So there's ways of being able to kind of build things up in terms of the elements. And if you wanted to use speech, there's loads and loads of different speech bubbles that you can use. And again, I'm just going to use this one, but you can, if you need to, choose a different one and press flip so it goes the other way. And again, if I just tap on a text box and say, can I play on the swing next, please? I can then move my text over onto my speech bubble. I can make it a bigger size like we did before. I can just make it fit a little bit better into the bubble. There we go. And I can also change the font if I wanted to go back to the fonts that we had before. So if you wanted it to be kind of a handwriting font or something that's really easy to be able to read. It's all about what's going to work best for you and your child as well. So if I just tap on there and then just move these elements around, remember you've got those alignment lines to be able to help. And then if I just come to this next one here and saying other children can play on the swings and that's okay. So I just might want to get an okay. And it's really good because obviously you've got the things like you've got the words okay that you can add on and you can change the colour if you want to. So you can make that white or you can make it a blue colour or yellow to make it stand out. But also as well as when you type in okay, you've got all of these different visual representations as well. So you've got things like you've got your thumbs up, you've got the words, you've got kind of animations, you've got different pictures and things as well. So it's really useful to have those multiple different elements that you can use. And remember, you can tap on it. It gives you that toolbar along the top if you wanted to be able to change colours. So if you wanted it to have kind of like a green on there as well, you can. There's lots of different elements that you can then change to that as well. So once we've got all of our elements on, I've just realised that I've changed that hand to green. So I'll just go back there and press the undo button so that the hand goes back to the normal colour that it was when I added it in. So once we've got this all built up, we can now start thinking about doing a voiceover over the top of our social story. Voiceover over your social story. I always find it much easier to do it in the web version of Canva rather than through the apps. So I've just quickly jumped onto my laptop here and loaded up Canva in a web browser. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump over to the share button, tap on there, and then go to the see all option here where we've got our download options. I want to find the present and record option. And once I do this, it then allows me to go to the recording studio. Now on here, you need to set up your microphone and your camera. You can see that my microphone is working because it's kind of flashing and recognizing that sound. You can switch your camera on if you would like to, but I don't think there's any need to do that. And then when I press the start recording button, it gives me a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then I'm just going to go through my slides and do an audio commentary over the top. Today we are going on a trip to the park. Today we are going to the playground. We will play on the swings. If there is someone on the swing, we don't push them off. We need to say, "Can I play on the swing next, please?" Other children like to play on the swings, and that is okay.
Up and back, and up and back, and up and back, and up.
Playing in the park is really fun. Then I tap on end recording at the top, and it will then upload my recording. I press save and exit, and what that then allows me to do is to download that as a recording and have that saved there. And I can do that by pressing that download button there, and it downloads it as a video. However, when you go to then play that back, it might not appear at the bottom here. And if it doesn't, we'll show you in the next part of the video where you can get that audio track from. Now, if you find that your recording isn't showing on your timeline along the bottom, if you just go over to uploads and go to audio, you'll see that there's a little recording there that I can then just tap on, and then it should then come up on the screen. Today, we are going to go to the park. There we go. Now, you might find that it's a little bit kind of not in time. So what you can do, if I just make this a little bit smaller so we can see it here just a little bit better, you can move the little timeline so that you can actually start to edit this a bit better. So you can clip it and move it so that it actually fits where you want it to actually be and say. So if I just move this back now to here. Today we are going to go to the park. You can see there's a bit of a gap, so I'm just going to move that all back. So I'm just going to move this little black line across so that I can get that into the right place. Here we go. And I'm just going to cut that little bit out there and do the same thing there again so that I can take away that little part of the recording. So now, if I grab a hold of this recording and move it back, everything should now line up with my social story. So let's go back to the beginning. We are going to go to the park. Today we are going to the playground. We will play on the swings. So again, what we might need to do is we might just need to have a little bit of a play around with the sound and make sure that it's all in the right place. There may be a bit of a lag because I'm doing a screen recording here, which is why it might be not getting there, but you'll be able to easily go in and just line everything up for your recording. So now we've got our recording done, let's develop our social story that little bit further. What you might also want to do as part of your social story is add in some transitions or some animations. So let's look at transitions first. Transitions are the way that slides move from one thing to the next. And you can see, if I just zoom in on my timeline at the bottom, between each picture there is a little add button. And if I tap on there, it gives me the opportunity to either add a page or add a transition, which is the second picture down. When it comes up with all of these different options you have. So you've got kind of a dissolve or a slide. Now, this is completely up to you whether you want to use something like this or whether you just want to be able to just change from one picture to the next. I quite like chop, so I'm going to use that one there. And if I just scroll down, instead of having to do them all individually, You can also go through and just say apply between all pages. And now, if I just zoom in, you'll see that that little icon there appears between each one. Now, what you can also do is any elements that you add to your social story, you can also animate if you want to. So, for example, if I wanted to animate this speech bubble, I can tap on it. It brings up that toolbar along the top, and I can go to animate at the top there, and that can give me some different animations that I can use as well. Kind of like a pop or a breathe, or you can even kind of have it doing flickering or pulsing to kind of just give that extra little bit of emphasis, for example. So I'm just going to go to pop there and use that one there. You can do it where it pops in and pops out, which is both on enter or on exit. So you might want to do that, and you can also speed it up and slow it down as well. So you've got lots of different options there. Again, it's one of those things that if you're making a social story, you might not want to have things moving and interacting. You might just want to keep it very simple. Or it might be that your child or young person that you're making the social story for would like that kind of extra kind of entertainment factor to it, I suppose. And this is why Canva is great for making a social story, is because you can literally develop it to what's best for you and your child at home. So now, once we've added in all of our elements and done our voiceover, we're at the point now where we can start to have a look and see what our social story actually looks like. So I can press the play button in the bottom corner here. Today, we are going to go to the park. Today, we are going to the playground. Got our animations there. We will play on the swings. If someone is on the swing, we don't push them off. We say, "Can I play on the swing next, please?" Other children will like to play on the swings, and that's okay.
And up, and back, and up, and back, and up.
Playing in the park is really fun. Now, the great thing about Canva is if you make any kind of errors or want to go back and change things, it saves this all automatically. So I just spotted there that that I didn't have a capital letter. So I'm just going to go in and change that. I'm going to go to my elements and let's see if I go into clapping and just see if I've got some graphics here. And I come down here, I might want to put some clapping in terms of them being on the swing. So let me see. Oh, I quite like that awesome little hamster there. I can put that there in the corner. So you can add things as you go along. You don't have to, once it's done, you can then go back in and edit. And the great thing about it is that Canva will save everything to your cloud anyway. So you don't need to worry about saving things as you go along. So to then save your work so that you can share it, what you can do is come up to the share button in the top right hand corner here. You tap on there and then you go to download, and it'll suggest that you can download it in a video format. If you wanted to have it as paper version, you can actually download it as a PDF, and it will put each photograph on a new page. Obviously, just be aware that there wouldn't be any of the voiceover and the interactions, but sometimes children find it nice to be able to have a physical social story as well. But I'm just going to leave that as MP4 video, and I'm just going to say all of the pages and press the purple download button. Now, it will depend on your connection speed, but also in terms of your device, where that will then end up. So on mine, on my iPad, it will end up in my photo library. If you've done this on your laptop, it'll go into your downloads folder. And if you've done it on your Android device, it'll go into your file explorer. And you can see there, my little blue line at the bottom where it's saying MP3 at the playground downloading. It's just taking a little bit of time to download just because of my connection speed, and also the fact I've got photos and videos in there. But once that's done, it then saves onto your camera roll. So as we can see here, the blue line has just started getting a little bit further forward. So now I just need to choose save video, and that will then save that for me. And I can go into my photo library and we can see here right at the end, here is my social story. Perfect. Now at this point, you've got the opportunity to be able to kind of share it in a text message or a WhatsApp, be able to email it. So it's a great way of being able to share it with other adults who work with your children. So whether that be teachers or professionals or grandparents or childminders, the opportunities are literally endless. And if you ever wanted to go back into Canva to change this, if I just go back to Canva home here, which is where it kind of we all started right at the beginning, you'll see that what happens is that all of the work that you've created then appears at the bottom in your recent designs, and it's as simple as going in, tapping on it, it loads back up with all of the work that you've already done. You can then edit it as normal, but remember, if you want to then update the video, you will need to go to share and press save video again, just so that the updates have happened to the hard copy of your video almost. We hope you have found this recap video useful. If you would like to attend this session live, please visit our workshop page on the Discover Digital part of our Family Fund website, and you will be able to book a session that works best for you. And we really look forward to seeing you there.